We now move on to video link with Shaun Bailey.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And before I begin, can I start by echoing your congratulations to the Honourable Member for Enfield North, and also to my right honourable learned friend, the Member for Fareham, on the impending birth of their children. As I say, this debate is so timely today, and it covers so many important issues. The fact is, Madam Deputy Speaker, what we do in this place, people do take notice of. We should be leading. We should be a leader. And I'm afraid at the moment, at times, we haven't been. The fact is, resigning your job, a job you've worked hard for, that you've worked for many years to obtain, simply because you've had a child, should not be a choice that anyone's got to make. And I'm glad that finally this legislation acts in a way to stop a scenario where women are effectively excluded from taking a role in government for fear of having a child. I was actually very saddened to hear during the intervention from the Honourable Member for Glasgow North that we're seeing a loss of good politicians in Scotland due to having to make these exact decisions. And it makes our politics less, Madam Deputy Speaker. It means we lose that quality, we lose that insight, we lose those experiences, those things that make it so vital in debate, that we can understand those perspectives, that we can add them to our discourse, and ultimately that make our politics better. Now, as my honourable friend from Durham North West stated in his intervention, we've still got a lot of work to do, and I don't think there's anyone that would deny that we don't. We need to ensure that we use this opportunity to close that gender gap. And indeed, the honourable member for Leeds West in her remarks pointed out exactly the fact that this place at the moment is still too skewed towards having too many male members. And we've got to ensure that we put practical steps in to at least enable a fair crack of the dice, to enable people to be actually to obtain and to get involved in politics. And this isn't abstract, Madam Deputy Speaker. For communities like mine in the Black Country, in Wednesbury, Albury and Tipton, what we're talking about today isn't disconnected. Because if we want to ensure that people can aspire to achieve, that people can take an active role in our politics, that people can see people such as themselves involved in our public life, then we need to ensure that having a family doesn't stop you from getting involved in politics. And that's on all levels. And this bill goes some way of doing that. But as the Honourable Member for Strangford said in his remarks, we must ensure as well that we don't forget about local government. And I hope as the discussions that have been triggered by this bill today, and I think one of the benefits of this bill, Madam Deputy Speaker, is the fact it's triggered wider discussion, is that we talk more widely about how we can extend this across all of our politics, across all levels of government. And of course, as we talk about levelling up, Madam Deputy Speaker, something that I've been very proud to champion in this government, we've got to ensure that that levelling up does not exclude people based on their gender. And at present, it would seem that in some ways it does. So we need to ensure that we have a system that enables everyone to engage in our public life, everyone to engage in our politics. We also, as many honourable and right honourable members have pointed out, need to end that stigma around the fact that if you're in public office, it is somehow wrong for you to have a family, that you're not a human being, and that you don't, as I say, act as normal people do. And this goes some way to do that. But if I can make one final point, Madam Deputy Speaker, in my closing remarks, I very much welcome the comments made by my right honourable friend, the member for Portsmouth North, but I would just ask her to remember this. Men equally have an important role to play. And we've got to ensure as we carry on this discussion, as we continue this debate, as this bill opens up those lines of discussion, that we ensure that men can play an equally important role in the upbringing of their children. Because as we know, that role of a father as well as a mother is so, so important. As someone that didn't have a father growing up, I can assure you that it is something that's absolutely vital to ensure that we enable children to have that full family. So, Madam Deputy Speaker, I fully support this bill. I commend my right honourable friend from Portsmouth North.